Well, and then Mandy messaged me the other day and she's like, I had a dream that we started a podcast about books. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. And then she's like, messaged me again another day and she's like, we should start a book club, like Facebook group. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. Like, I don't know where all this
We should
time's
have her
coming from.
on. We should have her on for an episode and see if she likes it before you start diving into
Yeah.
maybe she'll like it.
I
I
will
don't
do
know.
like
Some
a
people
test run. Yeah.
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 Well, I mean, like your sister, she didn't know if she was gonna like being on camera like that. Like,
And she
it's
had
still a little
fun.
different.
It's different.
She
I
was
mean,
fun.
I feel like I've
She
come a
killed
long
it.
way. Like,
I don't know. I think that episode is like top. Our
it was good.
episode of us talking about like what we were talking about after our horoscope episode, like where it pivoted to, because we're just those podcasters that
it
like
was so
can't
good.
stay on topic to stay our lives.
That was why she was over the other night, like the day before, like the time change, because I was like, look, we talked about some heavy shit. I would just like you to like re-listen to it and like make sure you're okay. Because like, we recorded and then we stopped.
Do you want to mute anything?
Yeah.
Do you want to cut anything? Like,
it's like we stopped talking. We're like, okay, bye. And then we just kept going. So I'm like, this is too good not to include it. But it's like, and then it was like, okay, so just come here and like, let's listen to it. You tell me what you think. And she's like, okay, maybe bleep out that one part. And so that we had like one bleep, our first bleep ever, which I think was pretty funny, like our first bleep. And then
no, I think it's good.
Yeah,
like,
and then we cut out like
especially when we
another 40 minutes. I think we cut out like another 40 minutes. So it's like this is a good place to stop. We'll just stop because we just talked about other crazy stuff after that, and then I don't even know where we went. So
I mean that's kind of how this goes, though. I mean, but that's I mean, I'd rather have too much than not enough. You know?
It's fun.
But yeah, I was like, this episode's what's gonna put us on the map. Like I was like, this is so good.
She had a lot of fun helping me edit it too, because I was like cutting out like, okay, this could be a short and this could be a short. And she's like, oh, what about this one? And what about this one? And then afterwards, she's like, let's go back and watch it again. And I'm like, really? So she had a lot of fun with it.
Good. I'm so happy.
So we'll have to bring her back because that was fun.
That editing stuff can be really difficult. Yeah, we still need to schedule a time to do her sister quiz and then my sister quiz.
Oh, yeah.
But we could do that in the new year. That's like, we could back burner that. That's not a huge deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we can just figure that out. We could also just do another episode with her where we more, because I still want to do kind of like a health episode with her too, and talk about all of her health issues that she's been going through and talk about kind of some of my health issues that have gotten like so much better. And like, I cannot imagine how I didn't live my life like this now. Cause like,
got me all intrigued.
You just don't with chronic pain, like you just don't know how much it's affecting you when you're a workaholic. Like you just don't actually physically see it until you're like, fuck, I could have been doing this much work at this capacity. Like for an entire year, and I just wasn't, because I was like constantly in pain and didn't realize it. Like,
it just became like your normal. So you just didn't, Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, am I depressed? Like, what's wrong with me? Like I was convinced that there was something else wrong. And then I was like, oh no, it's just this thing you need surgery for. Like, go get it, bitch. Like, like
you're going to bring out the hypochondriac in me.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I wanted to ask you, like, I was just talking to some people that are colleagues, and everyone in the like meeting that we were having wore glasses, and I didn't, and I obviously don't. I mean, I could wear contacts, I guess, and you would know, but like I don't wear anything on my eyes. And they were like, the one girl was talking about her eye exam, and I was like, what do you mean what are you talking about? And she's like, yeah, when they like put the thing on your face and they like move the like lid. I was like, what are you
Have you never had that?
I have never had an eye exam.
What?
I've never had an eye exam. I've had like the one where they're like, hey, read the poster or fucking whatever.
Yeah.
But that's I've
well,
always,
how far down on the poster can you go though?
Oh, I can read the whole thing.
Oh, well you don't need like, who does that? Like, I'm lucky if I can get the big E on top. Like what?
Well, and then Red says, like, did this thing where I was talking to Red about it, and he was like, wait, you don't just memorize the poster? And I was like, Red, what are you going
No,
on
that's
about?
cheating.
And he's like, well, I have
Like,
like a photographic memory. So if I see it up close, like there's no way I won't remember what it looks like far away.
oh
I was like, so
no,
you could
it's
have bad
cheating.
eyes right now? What?
That's cheating. Like, it's cheating.
Yeah, I think so. I actually think it is. He said something about like, there's just no way I would not remember it. Like, it's like he can't not,
That's
like,
crazy.
his brain will fill in the pieces or some shit. Like something with a photographic memory. Like even if you can't see it, your brain goes, oh, but I remember what that looks like when it was
Yeah.
close up. So like, I'll just fill in the blanks. So I was like, could you have bad eyesight and just not know?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, I think you would know if things
I
are blurry.
I mean, I feel like you should go get your eyes checked. I feel like I should get my eyes checked again too. Like it's been a while. I don't need it's
Do you
been
not go every
years.
year? Are you supposed to go every year
No.
when you have
Are you?
glasses?
I don't know.
I don't
I
know. I
I feel
don't
like I
know.
probably should. I feel like I should. But I remember I got glasses when I was in middle school.
Oh,
And
wow.
like I remember telling like my mom, I was like, my teachers or whatever, and I was like, it's not as clear. I know it should be clearer. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know that it should be clear. And they're like, well,
Mm-hmm.
you just want glasses. I'm like, who just wants glasses? No, I just want to see
Back then,
clearly, you
no,
know?
back then, no one wanted glasses.
Yeah. And it's like,
Maybe now, because like
I
Kim
mean,
Kardashian wears them.
what middle schooler wants to be called four eyes? Like, no, I didn't want
No,
glasses. I just wanted clear
no.
vision. But I mean, so I've
Mm-hmm.
had glasses since like fifth grade, sixth grade. I think it was fifth
Mm-hmm.
grade.
Wow.
And I remember whenever I got them, like on the way home, I was like, oh, that's what leaves look like on trees. Like,
Oh my God,
it's
no way.
not
My
just
mom
like
did
color
that after her
blobs.
cataracts. Yeah, my mom did that after her cataract surgery.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, it's like seeing in 3D. Like, I was like, are you joking? She was like, no, everything used to look like it was like fuzzy.
Wow. I
Yeah,
know
I was
I
like, whoa,
have
that's the
like
film is fucked or something.
what's the What's the thing where like your
Like
eyes
astigmatism or something.
astigmatism, yes, where like your
Hmm.
eyes like shaped a little bit differently. Like I
Hmm.
didn't know what it was,
Hmm.
but it's like, like the difference between like a round ball and like the back of a spoon is like how they say is like that's what the
Yeah,
shape
your eye's
is.
just not like perfectly circular or something.
Yeah. And so
So like
for
sits in
the
your eye socket weird.
yeah, so it's like, it distorts your vision a little bit. And I have it in both eyes, but like one's worse than the other. No, I mean, I'm not blind.
Well,
I
see, it's
mean,
so funny. So I have a
I'm not wearing
theory,
glasses where like the lenses are like half an inch thick.
like
Like that's,
super thick or whatever. Yeah.
that's not what it is. But, like for the longest time, I didn't know that everybody didn't see the same way that I did. Cause until I saw like some
Right.
Facebook post
I was
about lights at night. And I'm like, wait, this is
literally,
what people
yeah.
see? Like,
Right.
because like
Some
this
people have
photo,
like dark spots too. Like some people have
oh,
like
well,
weird
I don't
dark
want that.
spots. Some people who are like blind, it's not
Yeah.
because they can't see at all. It's
They just
because they've
have
got
like
like
dark
impaired vision. Yeah.
oh. Well, like I saw this picture on Facebook, like I don't know, years ago, and it was like a side by side comparison of like lights at night for like regular eyes versus with astigmatism. And it's like regular eyes, it's just it's a light. It just looks like a light. But astigmatism, it's got like light rays coming out in different directions,
Mhm.
and that's how it looks. And I'm like,
It almost looks like when you're driving a car and you get those lights in the back of your mirror. That's kind of like
yeah,
how it
it's
always looks.
like everybody doesn't see lights like that. like
Mhm.
like it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
I can't
It's
even
the
handle an
difference.
eyelash in my eye because then I like feel like my one eye is like blurry, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do people live like this all the time? Like, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't hurt,
Yeah.
but like my brain starts to go insane that I can't see.
Yeah.
Like I don't my brain would not be able to handle like the not being able to open her eyes and see. Like I would think that there was something wrong. I would have a full panic attack.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I should
Full
probably
mental
go and
breakdown.
get my eyes checked again. It's been a while. I
Mhm.
think the last time I went, my eyesight had progressed a little bit, but it wasn't like a drastic thing, because
Mm.
like
See,
it was just like a little.
I got like this weird theory that like it's one of those things where we're regressing as a species
Oh, that's sad.
because I know it's super like biological kind of. Because like if we were still like hunters and gatherers,
Mm-hmm.
people who had bad eyesight would die.
Oh,
We wouldn't be able to fix it, right? Like
yeah.
because we can fix it now. Does that make sense? So like
Yeah.
because you're procreating with someone else who has bad eyesight, it's like a gene that we're like carrying on through our species.
Yeah.
And
So
only more and
everybody,
more
like
people will need
mom,
it.
dad, my sister, Nana.
Yeah.
I don't think Pops wore
Yeah, there's like
glasses.
nothing wrong.
Like
I mean,
they
there's
all wear
nothing, obviously,
glasses.
there's nothing wrong with it now because we can
Yeah.
fix it. But like, it's just one of those things where it's like, as a species, like the strong would survive. Only people who would be
Yeah. I
able
mean,
to
if you
see
couldn't
would
see the
have
lion
babies.
charging you, you would die. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Like if you can't see nearsighted,
Like,
I mean, not that like you would be reading things back then, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's just like one of those things where like eyesights are only going to continue to get worse because we're only procreating with people with who have bad eyesight. It's like if we were a true like species that was evolving naturally, no one would have bad eyesight because everyone who had bad eyesight wouldn't live, you know?
That's interesting. Yeah.
It's the same thing as my thing with dementia. I have a whole thing on dementia wouldn't exist if we weren't keeping people alive longer than they were supposed to be.
Oh.
Because it was only a disease that developed that we have no idea what happens. Like in Alzheimer's, it makes sense because like your brain is like kind of deteriorating or some shit. Versus like dementia is like you just forget who you are and we don't know why. And like you just forget, like the neurons in your brain just stop firing for some reason.
It's
And
crazy. Like, I feel like we should know
older.
these things by now. Like we should,
No,
I feel like we should.
We know like this much about brain stuff.
I mean, that's
dude. We
true.
know like, I mean,
that's true.
We have a concept of what's going on, but we can only study what we can see, and the things we can see while people are alive is like,
yeah,
it's just electricity going on through a bunch of tissue that has like a bunch of little atoms and shit. I mean, like we're just dust, bro, you know? So it's like we only know so much.
Yeah. Sure.
And the things we know, we've just convinced ourselves we know because we made it up.
We just made it up. Like
we made up words. Everything is made up. We're a species of self-importance. We've created everything. We know everything. We are the gods of this planet, you know. But yeah, I think dementia wouldn't exist if we didn't keep people alive, which sounds bad, which, you know,
yeah,
I don't know. It could be controversial. So I don't want to be like, kill the old people. But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't see let's maybe you're gonna be our next
you
sleep.
died when you're supposed to, right? Like if you were dying, like if we didn't just keep everyone alive because we're afraid of death, because that's a thing that humans do now, instead of just being like, oh, I have cancer and like my body's telling me I'm done, like I'm gonna fight this and put my body through more shit just to try to have a few more years because I want more.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to leave people, right? Like there's a lot of reasons why you want to fight cancer and not that like people shouldn't, but it's just like as a species biologically, that would mean you're done. Like, you know what I mean? If we didn't have medicine, those people would just die. Like it's just that's just the way it is. Like an animal when it gets cancer in the wild, it's like no one's fixing their cancer.
Yeah.
And then some species don't get it. Did you know that some species can't get cancer? Like fucking sharks.
Sharks.
They can live forever. They don't die of old age.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
What? That's crazy.
They're like fucking dinosaurs, bro. They don't die of old age.
That's why you see the Meg movies now. There's probably one in there.
It's a really fun theory. It's a really fun theory mixed with science because, oh God, that is not. Did you just see my face get so dark? Did you see that?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I don't like any of that. But yeah, like I said, super controversial. I mean, a lot of my like weird, crazy theories that like I didn't even get into in our conspiracy theory / like whatever.
I'm sure you would have enough to fill a whole other episode.
Oh, God. I could have a whole nother podcast, bro.
Oh my gosh.
You could have your own book podcast. I could have my whole. Actually, it's so funny. One of my friends, who we've always been like back and forth with shit like this, and he's who got me on like the jellyfish shit. Was like, I wanted to start a podcast with him because he's like super, super, super smart. Almost like too smart, you know? Where they're like, yeah, and that's why this is that, and that's why this is. They're like so self-aware of how smart they are that they're just like, yeah, that's so right. Like they're like okay with like you finding out for the first time about something, you know? Which I love because I think it's like a really fun personality trait.
Yeah.
He and I were like, we should have a podcast because then it will just be like my ADHD brain going crazy and your logistical, like smart type A brain being like, yes, and so and this, and like having like a list.
Oh, I think that would be fun.
It would be so fun, but he's so shy and he is not like he is so introverted. This would not be his vibe. But I feel like if I could just record our conversations, it would be like money.
Yeah.
So we were gonna. I told him we were gonna call the podcast Jellyfish or Aliens, and that'd be like all like dive so into it, and instead of being like the Joe Rogan podcast, being like Jellyfish or Aliens, like just push the narrative.
Do it. Do it. Like you don't have to have the visual component. Just do like the audio.
Like,
just
record,
do it. Yeah.
Like go to a coffee shop and just record us talking. I feel
Yeah.
like we totally could do that.
Yeah.
Especially because he likes to read too, and
Oh. Yeah.
you know me, I love to talk about reading.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Especially about old stuff. I'm about to get back into Tolkien.
Oh.
I'm about to read Lord of the Rings again just for fun, or The Samaritan, which is like the book about the world. You know?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he is like he's like a lot more books. You know, he only wrote the Lord of the Rings because he was a linguist. Did I tell you that?
Oh, you did tell me that. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Lord of the Rings,
then once he did that, he couldn't just create the language. He had to create the universe of where the language existed.
Yeah. 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 I saw this thing. I thought of you, Lord of the Rings, in my other Facebook group, like not the planning one, but the Health Hustle one. We're doing a walking challenge for November. Well, some of them are doing like longer, like mine's like 8 weeks. So it ends on like the December 30th. But it's this thing through the Conqueror challenges. Have you heard of that? Where it's like, I'll put the link in the description so you can have that. But it's this thing where it's like virtual challenges where you visit all these different locations like around the world. And like there's an app and it connects with like your Fitbit or your Apple Watch or whatever you're tracking your steps with.
You know how much we travel.
Yeah. So in the app, like you pick a location and then you get like an app. There's like a little road map and like you can see like street views and stuff like that. And it like tracks it. You get like virtual postcards when you hit like these different mile markers and stuff like that. So there's a few of us in the group doing that. I'm going through Hawaii right now. And so that's fun. And at the end of it, you get like a physical medal sent to you. Like so you can like hang it on the wall, like wear it, whatever. But they have some license things now too. So it's not just locations. They have a Lord of the Rings challenge. They have a Scooby-Doo challenge. They have a Game of Thrones challenge. They like it's so much fun. But when I saw the Lord of the Rings one, I was like, I should tell her about that.
Can you like VR it?
No, it's not like that where it's like, let's see.
That would be cool.
I don't know what that one is with the Lord of the Rings. I don't know what all it entails, but like the Scooby-Doo challenge, my sister was looking at that one, and it's where throughout the whole thing, like you're solving a mystery, and like you get like a Scooby-Doo like glow in the dark like medal afterwards, and like a little charm. It's really cute. Awesome. But like in the app, you get like this where you're like in a location, and then you can do like street views. So I don't know how it compares to like the Lord of the Rings one, but like you get street views of the locations and it's really cool. So with the Lord of the Rings one,
that's what I'm saying. Like if you could put the street view on VR, that would be dope.
I mean, maybe you can.
Then you could just be on like a treadmill pretending like you're walking on the beach of Hawaii.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
That's some like Ready Player One shit. Have you read that book? It's a great book.
I have not read the book, but I saw the movie and I love the movie. Have you seen the movie?
It's a really good book. That's a really good book. It was a Loot Crate book, like I would say like 2011 or something like that, like a long time ago.
Oh,
I read that book a long time ago.
It's crazy to think that 2011 was a long time ago. Like I still am not there yet, you know, like like every once in a while I have like I don't know, like time warp where like what year is it? Like that was not 20 years ago. Like
there's a lot of time theories out there. I don't know if you're into time.
Imagine you knowing a time theory,
which broke my brain. I don't know if you're watching Loki, but Jesus Christ. So I was reading this article about time, and when you're a kid, you know, things seem really long, you know? But like in sometimes you're like, wow, that hour was so long.
Oh yeah, I had one of those work days the other day.
2 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like you close your eyes and you wake up and you're like, has any time passed?
Yep. Did that this
You know?
morning.
And it has something to do with our brain's interpretation of reality or something like that.
Oh.
I don't know. It sounds really sciencey. I don't know. It's like something about like the chemicals that are released in our brains allow us to function of how we can remember things. Like, have you ever driven home and like been like, fuck, like what? Where did I just drive all the way home?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's like it. Well, some people who are very fiction, like that love fiction are like you time traveled,
Oh.
you disassociated, like another person took control of your body. Like
Oh
there's a lot of
gosh.
theories. It's like deja vu, but opposite, where you like forget things.
Yeah. I don't need to
Or
become
like
too
another
forgetful
person, like
around
another
here.
reality of yours is like molding together back or some shit. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like there's some crazy fucking theories out there, obviously, but um I think it's just like the way that our brain is only so big and we only access so much of it that like as we get older, we can only remember so much, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, this is something we do all the time. Like we don't actually have to nothing crazy happened on the drive home. Like just wipe it. You know, like
Yeah.
there's like little guys up there just being like, yeah, it's not important
It's
to remember
like
this one, you know what I mean?
Control Alt Delete.
Yeah. Or like the ones that are up there protecting us from trauma are like, oh yeah, no, let's just like act like that thing that was really bad to us. Like that just didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
It's
It's like file that away. We don't
like
need
a
that.
weird fault, like fail safe. Is that what it's called? Like when you're
Yeah.
like, it's like to protect the body or some shit. Like it's like,
Yeah.
would this create harm for us? Like let's get rid of it. Or if it's not benefiting us, fuck it, just get rid of it. You know?
Yeah.
But then there's some memories that are like so ingrained in you that like you couldn't forget it if you
Oh,
tried.
yeah. I mean, like, like one of those moments where you remember something so clearly, like you can see it. And then you ask your
Yeah.
mom, and like, well, how old was I? Oh, well, you were about 2, maybe 3. Like, how do
And
you
you're
remember
like, what
that?
the fuck?
But then at the same time, you
How do I
walk to the
remember that?
bedroom and forget why you came. Like,
Yeah.
why did
Yeah.
I
It's
come
because
in
our
this room?
brain just does it. You know, our brains just do it. And everyone's
Yeah.
brain's like wired differently. So I don't know. It's like the world is a crazy place, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're just here. We're just trying to figure it out while we're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
we're gonna have to cut our thing. We gotta stop. Like I didn't even set a timer. I was like, okay, we're gonna set a timer because I can't be late to my live stream because
You cannot be
last
late to your
time
live stream.
people went crazy. I had
Yeah.
messages in like 5 different locations, like where's she at? Has anyone seen her? Can anyone find it? I can't find it. Where's she at? It was all over the
Oh
place.
my goodness. Okay,
So
then we'll let you go. Well,
yep,
guys,
we'll have
thank
to
you
go do
for
that.
hanging out with us on this morning chat that we had. A little bit of a book rant, a little
Yep.
bit of
A little bit of everything.
a little bit of everything. I mean, we're gonna get that way towards the end of the year. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah.
coming up. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
gonna get to that. Like, let's recap what we did. So, but yeah, that was a great chat. I loved it.
Yeah. Loved it.
I love it. Totally love it. I can't wait to watch your live stream.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun. It might go long. I have a feeling it'll go long. We'll see.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, now you won't have to rush to get to us too. So,
Yeah. It worked out good.
all right, great.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, girl. Well, and you enjoy yourself, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.